Good afternoon, everyone. It's just gone 1 p.m. here in the UK. So good morning to those west of me. Good afternoon and good evening to those in the east. All right, so now that Jay Slater has been found, there's still so much media about him. So much. So many people still wanting to talk about Jay. But not to take anything away from Jay's case and the grieving that Jay's family are going to have to do for a long time to come. There are other missing people out there. And the two people that I'm going to talk about today are very similar cases to that of Jay. Young men who've gone to holiday islands in the south of Europe just to get some sun, and they go missing. And there's two young men at this moment in time who are missing. Do we see like Sky News? Do we see GB News? Do we see Talk TV? Do we see the BBC talking about these two men? No, we don't. No, we don't. Now, to be fair, there's a couple of British newspapers that are talking about them, that have run their stories. But there is very, very little news. And I haven't seen anyone on YouTube. Actually, I think I saw one person covering Michael's case, maybe. But I haven't looked too hard on YouTube, to be honest. And I don't know about TikTok. I don't know how well these cases are known on TikTok, because it's the Wild West over there. So I don't very often venture onto TikTok, even though I do have a TikTok account. I don't post very much over there. So I want to talk about Michael and Ben. Each of them have been missing now for several days under strange circumstances, very strange circumstances. I've been asked to talk about both of these young men, and because there's not too much information out there about them at the moment, I'm going to do them all in one live stream, do them both in one live stream. But hello, everybody. And I can see there's 274 people in the room right now. The other day when I talked about Jay, I had 2,500 people in the room. So shows you, doesn't it? Shows you, doesn't it? All right. So before we get into Michael and Ben's cases, just want to play this. This was on, I don't know what this was on, GB News maybe, or Sky News, like yesterday, and it's less than a minute long. I just want to play this because it sums up everything that I'm feeling. Hold on. Might help if I share the right page. That might help. What's going on here? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing this weird thing? All right. I'm so over StreamYard. I'm so over StreamYard. Hold on. Right.
Some missing persons.
Right. Let's try sharing it again. Should be working now. Let's have a go.
Just a final sort of question on this is why do some missing person stories get the attention like Jay's, like Nicola Bully's, and others perhaps don't? Because they're They all have families affected by this.
Exactly. And that's something else that we've been trying to fathom since day one here, is that we can have two cases come in on the same day and they can be broadly identical. The type of person, the sex of the person, the location, and the background. And one of those stories will go absolutely viral and everyone will be talking about it and then obviously speculating about it. And meanwhile, the other one will get no interest whatsoever. I just don't understand it. We'd love to understand it, but it is, as you say, hugely unfair to any of the parents. And of course, in this last week, when yet again we've had one huge case getting all the publicity, which of course it should, but not to take anything away from Jay Slater and his family. We've had families phoning up saying, why can't I be all over the news? Why isn't my son all over the news? And there's really no answer for that. All we can do is put out our stuff on our website and on our social media feeds and hope that good people like your viewers, people who are watching this now, hunt down LBT Global, find us and share our stuff, because that's how we get the message out there. And ultimately, that's how we bring people home.
Okay, fast talker. Noise, sped up. I listen to everything on 1.5 speed. So, and then when I screen record stuff, I forget to change it. So I can't listen to stuff on normal speed. It's just too slow. But this guy here is from the charity LGB. No, not LGB. I keep saying LGBT. It's not. LBT Global. They're a charity that assists families of missing people abroad. So UK people who go missing overseas. They've been helping Jay's family, and there's been people contacting them saying, how is it that Jay Slater has got all this publicity and my son or my daughter, my brother, my sister has had nothing? Has had nothing. And all they can say is, well, yeah, we're trying. We're trying. And this is the case. We had this case, this very case, last year with Nicola Bulley. Whilst Nicola Bulley was missing, there were thousands of other people missing in the UK and beyond. And did they get any publicity? No. No. While Nicola Bulley was missing, I had several that I talked about using Nicola's name to draw people into a video, you know, to talk about Nicola for half of the video and then switch to talk about somebody else. And I can bet you any money that as soon as I stopped talking about Nicola, people just clicked off the video. In fact, I know they do, because I can tell in my analytics. It's very, very, very frustrating. It's frustrating for creators who, like me, yes, I cover the big cases. Of course I do, because it brings people into the channel. And those people are important. Just because they've got a lot of publicity doesn't mean that they're not important to keep the facts out there. Because when you have a case that blows up like Jay Slater or Nicola Bulley, what you see is the vast majority of the coverage of them, certainly on social media, is false. It's misreporting. It's misinformation, disinformation. It's conspiracy theories. So it's important for, you know, people covering those high-profile cases to keep on keeping the facts out there. But it's incredibly frustrating for creators like me who want to cover a wide variety of cases, who know full well that you get a fraction of people tuning in when you spend your time talking about missing people who haven't blown up on social media. So who's to blame anybody? Who's to blame a creator? Who's to blame the mainstream media for not covering those cases? Because people just aren't going to watch. So it doesn't make sense to cover people when you're just wasting your time. It's incredibly frustrating. But it's more frustrating, if I feel frustrated over it, how on earth do those families feel? How on earth do those families who have a missing loved one And they see Jay Slater all over the news. They see Nicola Bulley last year all over the news. And their loved one is missing under very similar circumstances. And no one is talking about them. So today, I'm going to just outline. I'm going to keep this quite short so it's watchable for those on the replay. I'm just going to outline the cases of Michael Frisen and Ben Rose. So we'll start with Michael. Let's make this big here. All right, so this is Michael Frisen, and he's currently missing in Sardinia, which is an island in the Mediterranean. It belongs to Italy. So we'll go to the map in a second. I'm reading this from The Independent. This is from a couple of days ago. So The Independent have covered him. There's a few newspapers that have covered him, but there's not a great deal of information. Not a great deal of information. But this is very, very strange. Very strange case. So his mother is desperate to get people to volunteer to search for her son and for people to publicize the fact that her son is missing in Sardinia. So he's 25 years old. 25. So still a very young man. So the mother of a missing volunteer has begged for help after her son vanished on a volunteering trip to the island of Sardinia. Michael Frisen, 25, is thought to have become confused. He's undressed and disappeared into the Italian countryside near Lugo Santo. I don't know how to say that. 48% of my genes, my genetic makeup, is Italian, and I cannot speak a word of Italian. I'm sorry, guys. So is that Lugo Santo? I don't know. And he was last seen, apparently, at 5:18 p.m. on Saturday. So that's last Saturday. So he's now been missing for 5 days. A manhunt has been launched, but firefighters and the forest guard in the rural area say that it's vast. The area is vast, and we will go to the map in a second. His mother, Christina Pitalis, who is flying out from Bristol with his younger brother to join the search, told The Independent he was hoping to do some volunteering work, but when he arrived, he was very tired, not used to the heat, and was possibly dehydrated. He went to sleep, and the following day, he was visibly confused. So they gave him water and let him sit in the shade. But he said he would go for a little walk, and he hasn't been seen since. And he just walked off, like undressed, presumably because he was hot. I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering whether this guy is perhaps autistic, or at least on the autistic spectrum, because some autistic people, when they become stressed, they want to take their clothes off, they undress. And that's a broad generalization. I don't know whether he undressed completely naked, whether he undressed down to, let's say, I don't know, swimming shorts or underwear. I don't know. But he undressed and just took off. Just took off. So there's another picture of him. 25 years old. She said Michael was last seen by an isolated farmhouse surrounded by dense forest. Asking people not to speculate on his disappearance, so I won't, even though I've just speculated and said maybe he's on the spectrum. He's a wonderful young man. There's no drugs or alcohol involved. I'm devastated. He must be so scared. We are so close, you have no idea. He's so close to his little brother. He would never do anything like this to us. We have been through a lot together. His friends in Bristol, so he's from Bristol, which is in the southwest of England. We've been to Bristol recently on this channel, talking about that horrible situation of the two bodies of two elderly men, older men, that were found, body parts in suitcases on the Clifton Suspension Bridge. So belongs to the same city, but obviously completely different. But just doing a little bit of orientation for people not familiar. So his friends in Bristol know him very well. He's just very fragile and very sensitive. In a message directly to her son, she said, "I love you. I miss you. Everything will be fine, darling. We are strong together. We can do this together. Help me find you. My treasure. Teroso mio. My treasure." All right. So this is the last known sighting. So rural Sardinia. So I think I've isolated this spot. So this is Sardinia here. This is Sardinia. So we've got Italy, Spain, France. This is for those not familiar. This is the Mediterranean Sea. All right. And oh, that's actually the whatever. All right. Do they call them little? They call them little special little names. Anyway, it's all the Mediterranean area. This is Sardinia. All right. And we are going right to the north of Sardinia, to this town here, Lugo Santo. And it's a little bit south by the looks of the spot that this map has given us. And there's a lake in this area. Let me just find it. Let me zoom out. There's a little lake that I found before. There. All right, so we're looking between this town and this lake. So if we look on this map here, there's the lake. And then we're just south. Michael was last seen by an isolated farmhouse surrounded by forest. So we're looking due south of the town of Lugo Santo. Frisen is an Italian surname. Well, his mother can speak Italian, so maybe they are from Italian descent. So we've got the lake down here, and then we're looking for an isolated farmhouse down here. So I don't know whether it's this one. It's an isolated farmhouse there. Or maybe it's due south, so maybe it's one of these. So there's a few isolated buildings. So one of these farmhouses, this is where he was last seen at. There's a small one there. But can you see how dense this entire area is? Now, Sardinia, it's not a big island and it's not heavily populated. But it's very, very rural. So he's in here somewhere. He's in here somewhere. So we've got towns surrounding it, small towns, small town there. We've got and we've got, you know, a few buildings dotted about. But the fire service and the forestry people have been out looking for him. But quite rightly, they say this area is vast. It's just incredibly dense. Dense woodland. Did he run or walk away? I think he walked away. I mean, obviously, I don't know. But just by the sounds of things, he just walked away. I mean, look at it. I mean, the terrain is not treacherous like we saw with the ravine that Jay Slater was found in. It's somewhat hilly, but it's not treacherous. Just the problem is how thick this woodland is. Now, you can see that there are trails in there. So there are obviously walking routes in there. But apart from these, few properties that are very, widely spaced apart, and I don't know exactly which one Michael was staying at. It's due south, so I think it's one of these. So there's a few properties, but not many. And then further south, there's this lake. That's looks like it's a few miles. So Michael's in here somewhere. 38 degrees there today. So that's pretty hot, isn't it? So that's about 90 Fahrenheit. Yeah, taking his clothes off suggests he's too hot. You could so easily get lost. I mean, look, there's a few roads in here. But it's just thick. Very thick. And the fact he hasn't been seen since Saturday, this was Saturday that this happened, and he's not come back. What's happened to him? And, he was already hot, stressed, confused, dehydrated. So there are some open areas. So where the properties are at, there are some open areas. So his mother's going out there. I mean, she may even be there now. But she's been desperate to try to get the media and, people just to raise awareness for him. So if you're in Sardinia and you've got hiking experience, then please consider volunteering to go and look for Michael. See, this is, there's farms. There's this dense forest, and then you've got these farms dotted around. So, Michael, possibly could be lost, could be completely disoriented. But he does have the possibility of, coming upon a property where he could get help, he could get water or whatever. How far have I gone? I've gone quite a ways. There we go. So I don't even know what direction he went in. It'd be useful to know what direction he went in. It does look like the English countryside, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of farmland on Sardinia. So it's not arid like some of the islands. It's not a volcanic island like Tenerife. Tenerife is, volcanic rock. Whereas Sardinia is, actual land. So there's a lot of farming farming communities on there, but it's not heavily populated. Just as a little aside, my genes, 48% of me comes from Sicily, which is another island next to Sardinia, and my genes come from, hold on, let me find it. Might be down here. I've never been here, by the way. I just know they are. Not down there. See, look how well prepared I am. But Sicily is very similar. Lots of farms. There is a volcano on Sicily, Mount Etna. Why don't I just look for it? There we are. That's where 48% of my genes come from. Rakelmutor. I don't even know how to say it. Right there. Right there. In Sicily. Your genes come from the USA. They are Wrangler. That's funny. Yeah, there's a reason why the locals do the afternoon siestas, don't they? Because it's hot. It's hot. But Michael is on Sardinia. So Lugo Santor. He was staying just south in an isolated farmhouse. I do look a bit Italian. Yeah, I look a lot Italian. When I'm sunburned, I look a lot Italian. But I don't like the sun, so I'm like a vampire. I only go out at night. But I wish we knew what direction he was headed in. But literally, that's all we know. So few people are covering his case. So anyway, back to his mother. She's posted on Facebook, urging locals to join the search. He's a very sweet boy. You can approach him without fear, please. If you see him, stop him, talk to him. Don't leave him alone. Please, if you can, look at your land in your homes. If you get a chance, please go and help with the search. But don't go alone blindly. Talk to fire groups or civil protection. Offer your support. Ask what and how you can help. They know how to move and how to coordinate the research groups. What kind of volunteer work was he there for? I don't know. Please, we need your help. So there's Michael. Again. Describing him, he's 5'7", brown long hair with shaved sides. Police were contacted at 1 p.m. today, so this was a couple of days ago, and they are certainly stepping up the search, but your help is crucial. This came as a body was discovered, and they go on to talk about Jay. They go on to talk about Jay. Dear me. Not taking anything away from Jay or Jay's family. And it's good that Jay is inadvertently, like Nicola Bully did, inadvertently raising the awareness for these other missing people who are out of the environment that they know. I think this is a common denominator amongst all of these cases, is that you have somebody who basically is out of their patch. They're out of their comfort zone. They're in an area that is completely unfamiliar to them. And I don't just mean that it's a place they've never been before. What I mean is the environment is very different. So, Bristol in the UK, it's a temperate climate. If he lives in the city or just outside of the city, then he's not used to huge forests. He's not used to the heat. So he gets to Sardinia and he's dehydrated. He's not drinking enough water. He's not used to that heat. And he starts to suffer. He becomes disoriented and confused because of dehydration. So we said the same about Jay. The dehydration is the thing, because your brain uses 20% of the energy that your body is producing. And your brain, the majority of your brain is actually water. And if you're dehydrated, your brain tries to preserve everything, right? Tries to preserve the rest of your body. But it only takes, a relatively small amount of change in the water composition of your brain for your brain to basically short circuit. It's like electrical. It uses electrical signals to transmit information. So it gets short circuited. It basically blows a fuse. It's like your computer when it gets overheated. It shuts down. So does your brain. So we're talking about two very different cases, but possibly very similar reasons why they've gone missing. That there's dehydration, there's being out of your comfort zone, there's being in an environment that you're not familiar with, becoming confused and doing something that is very reckless, doing something that is not in your best interest. It's very bad decision making. He went missing on Saturday. So 5:18 p.m. on Saturday was the last time he was seen. So for those just coming in, his name is Michael Frisen. He's 25. He's thought to have become confused. He's undressed and then he's disappeared in the Italian countryside just south of Lugo Santo. He was last seen at 5:18 on Saturday. So he was out there volunteering. I don't know what organisation he was volunteering with. And he was staying at a remote farmhouse in the forest just south of the small town of Lugo Santo. So the forestry people, firefighters have been out there looking for him, but the area is dense forest. Where there's not, places where there's, small farms, the rest of it is just dense forest, and it's very hot, very hot. So his mother, Christina Patalis, who's flying out from Bristol with his younger brother to join the search, told The Independent he was hoping to do some volunteering work, but when he arrived, he was very tired, not used to the heat, and was possibly dehydrated. He went to sleep, and the following day he was visibly confused. So he probably went to sleep and still hasn't drunk enough water. It's the very simple things. These are simple things you would think, well, surely if you're thirsty, you would drink. But actually, once you get confused and you're tired, your body actually just shuts down. So they gave him water and let him sit in the shade, but he said he would go for a little walk, and he hasn't been seen since. It's quite an impervious area. So we told them he's going for a walk, and then he's just not come back. So that's Michael Frisen, missing since Saturday. He's a wonderful young man, no drugs or alcohol involved. And his mother is just devastated, very close to her son. He must be so scared. He's never done anything like this. We've been through a lot. His friends in Bristol know him very well. He's just very fragile and very sensitive. He's just completely out of his area, out of his comfort zone. Hopefully, he's found shelter somewhere. Hopefully. And there will be edible things in the forest, but it's just so sad. Who allowed him to walk off in his disorientated state? Well, he's an adult. I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to, like, wrestle him to the ground? They can say, why don't you stay here? They can persuade him, but he's an adult. And look, if he just said he was going for a walk, who would stop him, honestly? Who is this man? This is Michael Frisen, 25. He's missing from the Italian island of Sardinia. So he's from Bristol in the United Kingdom, in England, but he was over in Sardinia, hoping to do some volunteering. I don't know for what organisation. He was staying in a farmhouse just south of the town of Lugo Santo, which I've now lost. And he was staying basically in the woods in an isolated farmhouse. There. So that's Lugo Santo. He's staying just south of that, somewhere around here. So it's dense forest. It's hilly, but it's not really, really difficult terrain. The problem is just how dense it is. Now, there are farms. So, like, the forest is, like, you know, has been cut down in some areas for, like, small properties and farms. But he's in this area somewhere. This is where he was staying, just south in one of the farms, just south here somewhere. Very thick, yeah. Would there be any traps out there for hunting? Probably. I mean, I don't know. But maybe. So there are some kind of rocky areas as well. Some steep drop-offs. But there are roads. So difficult terrain to search, very difficult terrain to search because it's so thick. But if you're lost in it, you can see how quickly you become disoriented. Because one tree just very much looks like another. And if you're confused and your sense of directions off, then you could walk in a direction that you think you're going the right way, and actually you're taking yourself maybe around in circles. So what they need, oh, thank you, Purple AJ, for the 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see who's got them. All right, so we've got Mike, Di, Gypsy, Cherry, Christina, another Mike, different Mike, Tanya, Angela. Is that it? Where's them all? Oh, it's doing that thing again. But anyway, thank you, Purple AJ. You are an absolute superstar. And welcome, everybody. You get a month's free membership, courtesy of Purple AJ. All right, so that's Michael Frisen, 25 years old. This is Michael, 25 years old. And we do have another young man who is also missing. Another young man called Ben. He's also missing. You overslept. I slept in this morning. It was very strange. The dogs didn't even get me up. Think he's in the forest and collapsed. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Devil Doll, thank you for gifting 1 membership. That's very kind of you. And that's gone to Wicked Angela. Thank you so much, Devil Doll. You're very kind. And welcome, Wicked Angela. All right, so this young man here is called Ben Rose. There's estate agents called Ben Rose here in the UK. So when I looked up Ben Rose, I just got loads of like houses for sale. But this is Ben Rose, and he is missing on the Spanish island of Mallorca. So not Tenerife. Tenerife is a Spanish island in the Canary Islands. Mallorca is in the, I think it's the Balearic Islands, or basically over the other side. So this is Mallorca down here. So you've got these islands. So again, it's the Mediterranean area. Sardinia, where we've just been, is there, which belongs to Italy. But Mallorca and its sister islands belong to Spain. The Canary Islands are just down here. Where are the Canaries? They're the Canaries. Where we've been with Jay Slater's case. But Ben's case is on the island of Mallorca. Hey, Devil Doll gifted another membership. Thank you so much. Devil Doll, you're so kind. Citizen Sleuth, welcome. Get a month's free membership. Currently packing and leaving for Mallorca tomorrow. Now, Mallorca is a very, very popular holiday destination for us in the UK. The Canary Islands are popular, like Tenerife, Gran Canaria. They're popular holiday destinations, but so is Mallorca. Sardinia, not so much, but Mallorca, very, very popular. Lots of holiday, you know, lots of tourist areas. And Ben is actually missing in Palma, which is one of the touristy areas. So he was on holiday in Palma. So very built up, you know, holiday, lots of tourist stuff, hotels, villas, that kind of thing, holiday resorts, places like that. So what happened to Ben? Well, let's talk about Ben. So he's 26 years old, a trainee barrister, so trainee lawyer, and he's gone missing. And again, his mother is desperately appealing. They don't like tourists at the moment, do they? I don't know. Do they not? Palma's very densely populated. Yeah, it is. So once again, his mother is appealing, desperate for people to cover her son's case. And she's out, she's preparing to fly to Mallorca. Now, he actually comes from very close to where I live. Very close to where I live. He's from Goulburn, which is near Wigan. Incredibly close, just a handful of miles away from where I am sitting right now. So once again, this guy has flown just for a holiday and he's out of his comfort zone. Is this the protest island? I don't know. Is the protest? I have no idea. So a British trainee barrister has disappeared while on holiday in Palma, the capital of the Spanish island of Mallorca. After his family said they received an unsettling message from him 1 week ago. So he's actually been missing for 8 days now. He was last heard from on July the 10th. So Ben Rose, 26, from Goulburn near Wigan, has not been seen since he vanished on July the 10th, having moved to the sun-soaked island in June. The legal trainee had initially planned to visit a friend in Mallorca and later decided to extend his stay over the summer after picking up a temporary job. So he was there, he'd been there for a few weeks, planning to, spend his summer over there. Got a temporary job over there. But he was left penniless, keyless, and without a passport after his bag was stolen when he took a swim on July the 6th. So I'm not really sure why he had his passport with him if he was going for a swim, but I don't know, maybe for ID. According to his mother, Felix Robinson. She revealed to the Manchester Evening News earlier this week that she was trying to organise a bank transfer so that, he could have some money when she received a peculiar email on July the 10th telling her that he was not in a good place. Now, this is where this case gets very, very concerning. Very concerning. Hours later, he disappeared and has not been heard from since. So I don't know who the last person was to actually see him. He left his bag on the beach and went for a swim in Mallorca. Yeah. Maybe he was with someone. Maybe someone was meant to be looking out for his bag. I don't know. I'm speculating. If he had nothing, he should have gone to the embassy. People don't think about stuff like that, though, do they? This is the thing. Heard and saw on a couple of clips from down the rapids that he was on his way to Sardinia last night. He did a couple of shorts from the airport. Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, this is how it becomes concerning. Hours later, he disappeared and he's not been heard from since, with Felix stressing that Ben has a history of mental illness and he was previously sectioned, so held under the Mental Health Act. They call it sectioning here in the UK, but basically being held under the Mental Health Act. So even if you want to leave, you can't, right? You're sectioned. You got to stay. You got to stay in hospital, or else people go and find you. So he does have a history of mental illness. This is now, when I read this, I thought, oh no. No. Especially as his mother had received a concerning email telling her he was not in a good place. So presumably that was from Ben. And, it's not somebody sending some vicious email to her. Presumably it's from Ben. But we don't know. But what is very concerning is that he was sectioned last year for mental illness. I don't know what type of mental illness. I don't know whether it's, bipolar, severe depression. I don't know. But he's a trainee lawyer. So, he's a clever guy. He's just unwell. And he's out there in Mallorca. Any high areas locally? What do you mean high area? You like tall areas? Well, Palmer's very built up. So yeah, there's lots of high buildings. But if he'd fallen off a building, he would have been found. He would have been found because it's very busy. Palmer's very busy. So 26 years old from Wigan, from Goulburn in Wigan. Very close to me. It's only a handful of miles. I don't know the guy. So that's Palmer. I don't know where he was staying in Palmer. I don't know whether he was staying with, in an Airbnb, a hotel, with a friend. I don't know exactly where he was staying. But he was visiting a friend and then he decided to stay there for the summer. Felix is now planning to fly to Mallorca herself to aid search efforts, describing the days since July the 10th as torture. Like any mother, no matter what age your children are, they are still your children. I need to know my son is safe and well. The last few days have been torture. Please, if anyone has seen Ben, even if it's just for a second, let the authorities know. We need to find him. Ben's whereabouts are currently unknown, and Spanish police are conducting a search of Palma and the surrounding regions for the 26-year-old. But very difficult to search. Not in the same way as Jay Slater's was. Not in the same way as Michael is in Sardinia, where it's just very rural. Palma is very built up. Now, hopefully, that will mean that there's lots of CCTV. Hopefully. The Foreign Office are supporting his family and are in contact with local authorities. Felix said she's been in contact with LBT Global, the overseas charity supporting Jay Slater's family. Ben's disappearance comes as investigators in Tenerife confirmed they'd found a body. And then the rest of this article goes on to talk about Jay. With the map and everything. It's like, oh no. So there's so little information. So little information. La Palma is a volcano. Yeah, the town of Palma. So we're talking about the town of Palma. So here, this is Palma. So let's just drop down here and have a look at Palma. So yeah, lots of tall buildings, but there's like, you know, lots of hotels, holiday resorts, places like towards the coast. Let's go to the coast. So that's quite inland. Let's go to the coast. So he was swimming. So I don't know whether he was swimming in the sea or he was swimming in a pool. I don't know where he was swimming. I assume he was swimming in the sea because he left his bag and then he got his bag stolen. But it's very busy. Mallorca's very busy. It's not the kind of place I would find relaxing for a holiday. So you see lots of coaches, holiday makers, people going sightseeing. Oh, there's a ferry port. So there's the ferries. So you can go, you know, can hop from one island to another or go to the mainland. So very busy. Lots of crime, apparently in Mallorca as well. You know, pickpockets, people out to rob you, as sadly Ben found out. So we had all his stuff stolen on July the 6th. And then on July the 10th, his mother got that concerning email saying that he wasn't in a good place. So I've got big concerns about Ben. I don't think I don't feel very confident about Ben, honestly. I feel more confident about Michael being lost in the forest because there's edible stuff out there. If he's confused, if he's dehydrated, he could have collapsed somewhere, but he could have come round and he could be lost and they could find him. But Ben, the fact that this is a large town, the fact that he's not been seen since July the 10th is a big worry, especially as we know that he's trouble with mental ill health. Thank you, Hedgie Mum, for the £5. That's so kind. There's a fuller explanation on the GoFundMe. Is there? Let me find it. When I type in Ben Rose, it just comes up with loads of estate agents. But GoFundMe. No, that's for a different Ben Rose. Ben Rose appears to be quite a popular name. Has anybody got the link to the right GoFundMe? Maybe in this news piece. I've got another news piece here which is more recent. Let's have a look. This has got a little bit more detail in it. Okay, so British man missing in Mallorca since July the 10th sent a peculiar last email to his mum. A family friend has said Ben Rose from Goulburn in Wigan lost contact with his mother Felix Robinson amid efforts to secure himself funds following being robbed at the beach on July the 6th. Ben, who was taking time off from his barrister studies, had decided to extend his stay in Mallorca after landing a job with a local energy firm. Carla Spade, a family friend, told Express that Ben started showing signs of issues with his mental state after his bag was stolen and following a confrontation with his flatmate. Oh no, after he was forced to break into the apartment he was staying in right after the robbery. Oh no. So he's locked out of his apartment. To break into his apartment, so confrontation with his flatmates. Oh, this is not sounding good, is it? Not blaming his flatmates, but Miss Spate revealed that Ben's mum received an unsettling email from a new account on the day he vanished. Oh, what if it wasn't even from Ben? Now my mind is going into overdrive. I was just assuming the email will be from Ben. He's not feeling well. He tells his mother and then he goes off and unfortunately does something bad. But what if the email wasn't even from Ben? If this is from a new account? I don't think it was Ben emailing, no. She explained basically the email was just in reaction to the fact he couldn't get access to his money. Let's not jump to conclusions. But his flatmate threatened him very aggressively. So that's Ben. Saying he thinks that something is going on and she's controlling him to force him to come home. What? Oh, I missed a bit. That's why. Miss Spate revealed that Ben's mum received an unsettling email from the new account that he vanished. Basically, the email was just in reaction. I know I've read that. Couldn't get access to his money. Saying that he thinks that something is going on and she's controlling him to force him to come home. And that he didn't want anything to do with her. But the language was just odd, which raised concerns with Ben's mother. She was like, I don't think he's very well. Miss Spate spoke of Ben as a good lad, one of the kindest people. A family friend has set up a GoFundMe page to support Miss Robinson and her daughter in the efforts to travel to Palmer City to search for Ben. So this is Ben. Are you going to give me a link to the GoFundMe? You going to link me? No, you're not going to link me. You're not even going to link me. I want the right GoFundMe. Has anybody got a link to it? The right GoFundMe. So I found a GoFundMe for Ben Rose, but it's not him. It's a different Ben Rose. Okay. The family has been liaising with the British consulate in Mallorca, which has reached out to local police stations and hospitals seeking information about Ben since he disappeared on July 10th. So we've got a description here. 6 foot tall, brown hair and eyes, believed he may have been wearing a white t-shirt paired with dark jeans when he was last seen. Miss Spate relayed that Ben's mother is urgently requesting anyone who might have seen him near Palmer City to come forward, emphasising that the priority is finding Ben. So that's Ben. 26 years old. Quite a tall chap, 6 foot tall, slim build. Maybe wearing a white t-shirt and jeans, but isn't everybody. It's very, very vague. Don't know who the person was to last see him either. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, that sounds odd. That's weird. I don't know what that is. Jay Slater. Spanish police to slap sunbed hoggers with £200 fine. What's going on here? Spanish police in the popular Costa Blanca resort of Calp, 25 minutes from Benidorm, will remove sunbeds, towels and parasols and any belongings placed on the sand before 9:30 a.m. Wow. Jay Slater, Jay Slater, Jay Slater. All right, let's do last hour. None. Nothing in the last hour. 24 hours. Looks like there aren't many great matches for your search. GoFundMe link in Independent. Search Ben Rose missing Mallorca. Ben Rose missing Mallorca. Independent newspaper. Not getting very much here. No, I mean Ben Rose, not Ben Ross. Oh, it is Ben Ross. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm going to change my... That'll be why I'm not getting hits. Wow. I need to get my eyes tested. It is Ben Ross, not Ben Rose. Ben Ross. All right. That will help. That will help. All right, Ben Ross. Here we go. This is better. Okay. Ben Ross, British mother, flies to find him. Felix said, like any mother, no matter what age your children are, they are still your children. Just need to know my son is safe and well. Last few days have been torture. Please, if anyone has seen Ben, even if it's just for a second, let the authorities know. We need to find him. He reported the theft to the police, but got lost on the way home and was unable to get back into his apartment until late. According to his family, he tried to break in, causing an argument with his flatmates on the 6th of July. Since then, he has been threatened with eviction. Felix fears for her son's whereabouts, which remains unclear, and she's now no choice but to appeal to local residents and tourists in the Palmer area for information and any sightings of her son. She's launched a GoFundMe to raise £5,000 to fund her search and has enlisted the help of charity LBT Global, which has been supporting Jay Slater's family. All right, this is the GoFundMe. So help find Ben Ross missing in Palmer City. So it's currently up to £1,694. £5,000 target. So this crowdfunder has been set up to find Ben Ross, who has been missing in Palma City, Spain since 10th of July. Ben went to Palma City to take a break from studying as a barrister and found work in June 2024. After being robbed during a trip to the beach, a series of events led him to going missing. He has no money, no phone, and no way of contacting anyone. Now his mum, Felix, is planning to go to Palma City to find her son. Backstory. Okay. We've got a little bit more information now. Yeah, studying to be a barrister. Earlier in June, Ben travelled to Palma City, secured a job with the local energy company. He was seemingly doing well until a series of unfortunate events led to him going missing. 6th of July, Ben set out to get his European tax code, according to the people he's sharing an apartment with. On the way back, he went to the beach for a swim. Whilst there, his bag was stolen. His phone, passport, iPad, wallet and keys to where he was staying, dear me, were all in the bag that was stolen. Oh, maybe he had his passport with him because he was going to get a European tax code, so he would need ID. Oh, why would you leave that? Why would you leave a bag? Why would you leave a bag with a phone and an iPad and your passport in it? Oh, that's silly. All right. Ben went straight to the police to report what happened. By the time he left the police station, it was late in the evening. When trying to find where he was staying, he became lost. And when he eventually found the apartment, his flatmates refused him entry due to not knowing who was knocking on the door so late. Ben broke into the apartment out of desperation to be met with aggrieved flatmates who, since the incident, threatened to evict him. On 10th of July, police were called about this incident to be told they wouldn't intervene as Ben had offered to pay for any damages and explain the extenuating circumstances. One of his flatmates then alleged to have threatened Ben with two men who will sort him out and remove him before the weekend. Oh, man. Oh, man. Information that has further increased Felix's worries for the well-being of her son. I'm not surprised. What on earth? What on earth? During this time, Felix and Ben were trying to work with his bank to secure funds for Ben to enable him to access other accommodation, food and water. Unfortunately, the instructions they sent were not working, which only further added to Ben's mental state, leading him to send a peculiar email to Felix, which confirmed his mental state was not in a good place, before he cut off communications with her completely. I really hope that email was from Ben. That's all I'm saying. But presumably, Felix was talking to him on that day, like trying to sort out this bank thing. Then presumably Ben was still alive. Even if not well, he was still alive on the 10th. Why wouldn't you just use like PayPal or something? Cash App or something? Anyway, Ben's whereabouts since then remain unclear. His flatmate's story has changed on a few occasions. Oh, wow. I'm not happy with this. People say things they don't mean. They do. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. I think it's just with the fact he was sectioned last year for mental illness. I think that just adds to the potential for him to be really unwell right now. So his flatmate's story has changed, leading to his mum being concerned about the credibility of the information. She now has no choice but to go out to Palma and appeal to local residents and tourists in the area for information and any sightings of her son. Felix said, like any mother, no matter what age your children are, they are still your children. I just need to know my son is safe and well. The last few days have been torture. Please, if anyone has seen Ben, even if it's just for a second, let authorities know. We need to find him. The money raised will be used to fund Ben's mum's costs, such as hotel, flight and food, while searching for Ben. Anything not used will be donated to the Andy's Man Club charity in support of the good work they do supporting men's mental health. Any updates will be provided here when possible. Anyone with a sighting of Ben or information about his whereabouts should get in touch with the British Consulate and local police. So that was created 2 days ago. So that's Ben Ross, not Ben Rose, as I was saying earlier. Ben Ross. Is the flatmate a local? I assume so. I assume so. This article is just warning people about robbery and stuff. So this is from the Manchester Evening News. This is just come out. Mallorca's dark problem that Brit Ben Ross fell victim to before vanishing. Concerns are growing for the safety of a young British man who disappeared soon after his phone, passport, keys and wallet were stolen. Ben Ross, 26, from Wigan, has extended his stay after finding himself a job on the island, but his mum Felix hasn't heard from him since receiving the peculiar email, so we know all that. Stealing is a common problem faced by many tourists visiting Mallorca, and in particular Palma. Information on the Palma airport website warns that foreigners, especially people who look and act like oblivious tourists, are targets of choice for pickpockets. The airport's website singled out particular types of people to watch out for, such as flower sellers, who may use their activities to distract victims. Corrupt waiters at a restaurant may also read the card into their own recorder for later. The Palma de Mallorca airport site adds. The Mallorca Under the Sun travel podcast interviewed one British holidaymaker called Lisa, who told her she'd become a victim like Ben while she was at the beach. She'd left a bag of towels and other bits and bobs behind her for a few moments while she walked to a beach bar just yards from where she'd been sunbathing. She went on, by the time I got there, my bag had gone. So somebody was clearly watching me and had taken my bag. Everything gone, but luckily I never leave any valuables on the beach or in my bag. Well, they hit the jackpot when they found Ben's bag, a phone, an iPad, his passport, his wallet, everything. Several holidaymakers commented on TripAdvisor that they'd been pickpocketed in Palma city centre. One wrote, on the bus from the airport to Palma city centre, I had my wallet stolen from a fastened pocket. All cards and cash gone, left stranded in Palma with a 3 and an 8-year-old and not a penny to get to our holiday resort. Oh, that's bad. So these pickpockets know what they're doing. The TripAdvisor commenter added, after walking a considerable distance to Palma police station, they had to wait for several hours to report the crime, and the reception area was full of people in the same situation. The Mallorca Daily Bulletin recommends that tourists store wallets, phones, and other valuables in inside pockets or money belts rather than back or side pockets, and invest in theft-proof bags that block credit card skimming technology. According to police sources, most of these individuals are Romanian and highly skilled at operating in crowded areas. Their peak operating hours range from 11 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. They exhibit a high level of professionalism, Once they seize wallets, they swiftly extract money and discard the items, making it challenging to trace ownership of the bills. When travelling in a group, tourists are always recommended to split any cash or cards between 2 or more adults, so that in the event of a theft taking place, there's still some money left to get to a police station or back to holiday accommodation. The Foreign Office are supporting Ben's family and are in contact with local authorities. Like any mother, no matter what age your children are, they are still your children. Okay, so we've read that. Oh dear. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Do people not do the old trick anymore? You put your card in your shoe? Do people not do that anymore? Is that not a thing anymore? When you travel in, keep your card in your shoe? I don't know. So hopefully, both Ben and Michael, who we talked about earlier, can be located. So Michael, so Ben we just heard about. Michael, for those who've just come in, is missing on the Italian island of Sardinia. And he's been missing since Saturday. So 5 days. Ben has been missing since 8 days. So the 10th. Most people wear sandals or sliders abroad. Oh, yeah, there is that. Use a bra. Oh, that's a good one. Put your money in your bra. Good one. The Romanians would know the tourist trick. Well, good luck getting a card out of a shoe that is being worn at the time. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. But yeah, I guess you can't put your card in your shoe if you are wearing sliders. Maybe don't wear sliders while you're traveling. Maybe wear like trainers or something while you're traveling. Yeah, it does take a bit of cash out. But I guess these pickpockets and thieves, they're operating on people like who've just arrived. So they've just arrived at the airport. And, you know, they're getting taxis and buses and stuff like that to their accommodation. So, you know, these pickpockets are hanging out maybe outside airports, waiting for people to come out. So you're going to have all your stuff with you, aren't you? But, you know, going to the beach and leaving your bag with all your stuff in it, that's a rookie move from Ben. It's a rookie move. Listen, he's from Wigan. You know, Wigan has its fair share of thieves. Like, you wouldn't go into Wigan town centre and leave your bag on a seat. You wouldn't. It'd get lifted within 2 seconds. The fanny pack needs to make a comeback. Yeah, well, I guess that's like similar to money belts. You don't know Wigan. There's not much to know about Wigan. But I promise you, if you leave your bag for 2 minutes, it's going to get lifted. You were robbed in Wigan. There you go, you see. There you go, you see. The pie eaters, yeah. We call them bum bags, yeah. Yeah. Fanny's a much ruder word in the UK. It is, yeah. It is a horrible chain of events for Ben, and it's not helped by the fact that his flatmates are now trying to evict him and are being aggressive towards him. So he basically had nowhere to turn, had he? But I really would like to know who the last person was to actually see him, to actually have eyes on him. And if that was the flatmates, then honestly, I've got a problem with that. So I think in Ben's case, we've got that potential for there to be foul play involved. Michael's case, who walked off into the forest, I think we've got a less likely chance of foul play. I mean, obviously foul play is possible anywhere, but we've got a less likely chance of foul play and maybe an increased chance of it being an accident of some kind and him being injured. But if that's the case, then there's a strong possibility he could still be found as long as he's got access to water. Fanny packs are making a comeback. I've never had one. But they are. They absolutely are. I've seen quite a few people wearing them. Like even like just dog walking. You know, you put your poo bags in them. I think they've always been quite popular around here. I don't think they've ever gone out. Honestly, I do see people wearing them quite often, like dog walking. Like they're ideal for dog walking. I just personally never had one. I just have a small bag that I take with me, with all my dog supplies in. Wow. Left a bag outside the perimeter of a hospital campus late one night. Security guard helped me find it the next day, untouched. Wow. It looked too much like a bait purse. Ah, yeah, well, that's it. How did he get into those clothes he was last reported seen in? Well, he got into the apartment by breaking in. And that's what created the argument with his flatmates, because he broke in. So they want him to leave now. So he got in and obviously had access to his clothes, but he's not had access to any money because he's had it all stolen and he's fallen out with his flatmate. So he's now relying on his mother to transfer money to his bank. And on July the 10th, they were having problems with that. And then she just received this email from him that she's very concerned about. So it's just it's a chain of events that has gone from bad to worse. So anyway, we're gonna watch both of these cases. Hopefully, both of these young men are found and they're found alive and they can go home and everything will be all right in the long run. And what I really would like to see is more people covering cases like this. I say this every time. Every time you have a high-profile case, and then we have other cases that come to light that are very similar in a lot of ways, and they just get absolutely no coverage. You'd think definitely Ben's would be getting coverage because of the potential for there to be foul play and the potential for all different theories to arise. And then Michael, you know what, undressing and then walking off into the Sardinian forest is just absolutely bizarre. But it's what happens when your brain is basically short-circuiting when it's dehydrated, that you do just really odd, strange things. So I hope both cases are covered. I hope any creator finding this video and, you know, watching it on the replay, feel free to share this, clip it for your own channel, as long as you credit me, I'm happy with that. Use my words, whatever you want to do. Just get these stories out there, get these cases out there. So it's Michael Frisen, 25 years old, missing just south of Lugo Santo in Sardinia, which is an island belonging to Italy. And then Ben Ross, who is missing from Palma on the island of Mallorca in, well, that belongs to Spain. It's both in the Mediterranean region. So very hot there right now. And very different circumstances, but both very, very concerning. Very concerning. So I'm going to continue to follow those closely. And like I said, I hope both of these young men are alive and they're found and they get to go home to their families. They just let him break in after not answering the door and didn't call the police. Yeah, the police were called. The police were called. And they want to evict him now. So, was there a fight? Did he leave and then someone caught him? I don't know. Don't want to speculate, but there's lots of different things that could have happened that don't bode well, in my opinion. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to leave this one to be, you know, relatively short. An hour and a half isn't that short, is it? But so that they are watchable for people on the replay. So please do share, even if you don't want to share this live stream. If you just share a flyer, share their name, share a news report, anything you can, just to get the awareness out there. And use hashtags, you know, hashtag Spain, hashtag Italy, hashtag Sardinia, hashtag Mallorca. You know, use the hashtags for the locations that they're in, so people who are in those locations will more easily find those cases. And people holidaying there will find those cases more easily. All right, guys, I'm going to go. So thank you all. Thank you, mods, as always. Thank you for those that donated. As always, welcome to the new members, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or rest of your evening. And unless there's any kind of breaking news on any of the cases that I'm covering, and I'll be back if so, but otherwise I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.